The Oryx was one of the top second-generation anti-tank guided missile systems. It combined French and German expertise in this field, paving the way for the development of a joint European missile industry. Today, we're investigating the Oryx, the legendary tank killer. The Oryx was a product of a visionary project. Named after the initials Haut Subsonic Optiquement Téléguidé Tir de Tube, meaning high subsonic optical remote guided tube launched, this anti-tank missile emerged at the right time. It was contemporary with the US rival, the BGM-71 TOW, making the system preferable to nations that were pro-Western but wished to retain their independence from Washington's hegemony. In the early 1960s, France and Germany began seeking an anti-tank guided missile to replace their older wire-guided SS-11 in their inventories. It would be a second-generation one, meaning it would have an extended range, fly faster, and feature a semi-automatic guidance system. In 1964, these two countries agreed to collaborate after reaching an understanding of the operational and technical requirements for a long-range anti-tank missile system. Depending on the technological level of the era, the missile would need to be heavy enough to meet the 4-kilometer range requirement. Therefore, it would have to be deployed on ground vehicles or helicopters. The French Nord Aviation and the German Messerschmitt Bülke Blanc jointly developed the Oryx. They established a separate company, Euromissile, in 1972, which was responsible for taking over the development and manufacturing of the missile. Later, this joint venture would develop many other legendary systems. The success of these programs motivated Europeans to establish a joint missile industry, which ultimately resulted in the formation of MBDA. The first serious production began in 1976, with the full production commencing in 1977. The initial version, Ot-1, entered service with the German Army onto Raketjagd Panzer Jaguar 1 tank destroyer in 1978. The work on the airborne variant took longer. Ground vehicles carried out anti-tank missile engagements from stationary firing positions. Conversely, the helicopter-mounted system needed to be suitable for mobile combat. Consequently, several features had to be added to the missile launching system to maintain the helicopter's maneuverability. The infrared localizer range had to be extended to include Oryx's launch phase. An accurate optical sightline stabilizer was necessary, and an additional computer had to be developed to guide the missile during launch because of the angular deviation in azimuth between the sight and the launch rails. Firing trials in 1978 confirmed the Oryx's suitability for airborne operations. The first complete helicopter system entered service with the French Army in 1980, fitted with the SA-342M Gazelle. All Oryx variants look the same except for the diameter and the shape of the nose warhead section. 4 wraparound, folding, clip-tip delta wings are at the aft of the midbody. It has no fins. The missile waits inside a sealed glass fiber tube before the launch. The Ot-1 missile features a bullet-shaped pointed nose that contains the shaped charged warhead, fuse, safety, and arming unit. The guidance module is located at the rear, which houses the thermal battery, remote control wire, control signal decoder, gyro stabilization module, infrared tracers, and a single exhaust deflector vane for guidance. All Oryx variants have automatic wire command guidance. Ground vehicles, the launch platform for the Oryx missile, provide a stable firing position, making aiming significantly easier than launching from a helicopter. The gunner can aim with precision by traversing the turret rather than turning the vehicle, thereby enhancing the missile's usability and effectiveness. However, airborne launches must be conducted under some limitations. The ramps are fixed in azimuth and must be lined up by the pilot, who must turn the helicopter to within ±5 degrees of the line of sight if the target is to be engaged. Additionally, the roll angle of the helicopter must be less than 10 degrees and the sight and launcher elevation must be matched. By pressing the firing button, the missile's thermal battery is activated, providing all necessary electrical power. A powder charge spins up the gyro and the solid propellant booster motor is ignited, accelerating the Oryx from the launch tube to its cruise speed of 240 meters per second. Its burning time is 0.9 seconds, meaning all fuel is consumed in the tube. Then the solid propellant sustainer motor is activated. As the missile leaves the launch tube, the four wings spring out and together with the spin imparted by the booster exhaust provide roll stabilization. After launch, the missile is guided by the infrared localizer, which operates at the same frequency as the missile tracers. It measures the angular error between the target in the center of the sight and the missile, providing crucial feedback for accurate target acquisition. The command computer in the ground vehicle or helicopter then calculates the necessary correction, which is transmitted to the missile via the wire. The guidance decoder in the missile converts the signal to a movement of the exhaust deflector and produces the correct altitude change. Typical flight times are 9, 13, and 17.3 seconds to ranges of 2, 3, and 4 kilometers respectively. After the missile has completed its flight, the guidance wire is jettisoned and the next odd in the sequence may be fired. Under optimum conditions, an anti-tank vehicle or helicopter can launch 2 missiles at the target within a minute. Cyprus, Lebanon, Oman, Qatar, and Saudi Arabia are the current operators of the ground-based Odd. Austria, France, Germany, and Iraq retired their vehicles. Iran also briefly operated some captured Iraqi VCR-THs. Angola, Cyprus, Egypt, France, Kuwait, Lebanon, Morocco, Qatar, Syria, and Tunisia still operate the helicopter launch version of the Odd. Cameroon, China, Ecuador, Germany, Iraq, Spain, and the United Arab Emirates are the former users. The wire-guided Odd-1, which features a solid propellant rocket engine, has a length of 1.27 meters, a diameter of 136 millimeters, and a wingspan of 0.31 meters. The launch weight is 23.5 kilograms. Its top speed exceeds 222 meters per second. The missile's effective range extends up to 4 kilometers. The 5 kilogram high-explosive shape-charged warhead, fitted with an impact fuse, can penetrate up to 850 millimeters of rolled homogeneous armor. By the late 1970s, the Germans and the French had recognized the need for improvements to the missile, such as better guidance and a more powerful warhead. As a result, Euromissile developed the Odd-2, also known as the Odd K-150. Its serial production began in 1985. The main improvement over the earlier Odd-1 version is the new warhead, which has been enlarged to 150 mm in diameter to increase the charge to 4.1 kilograms. Due to its bulbous nose shape, the missile's overall length also extends to 1.3 meters. These modifications allow for a penetration of 1,250 mm of rolled homogeneous armor. The modified internal structure of the Odd-2 provides some weight savings, balancing out the increased warhead mass. As a result, the missile's overall weight is unchanged, ensuring it remains compatible with the existing launching systems. In 1987, Euromissile began developing a new version with an improved tandem warhead designed to penetrate armor supported by explosive reactive armor. Initially called the Odd-2T, the new Odd-3 entered service in 1993. It has a slightly different nose compared to the previous variant in that the nose probe is shorter, fatter, and has a rounded end. The warhead comprises a pair of shape charges and an infrared proximity fuse, which triggers the charges at an optimal range from the target with a system to synchronize the firing of the two charges. During operation, the small hollow front charge destroys the explosive reactive armor when triggered by the proximity fuse, allowing the main hollow charge to breach the armor structure. The Odd-3 has a 6.5 kg warhead and a total mass of 32.5 kg. The missile is capable of penetrating 1,250 mm of rolled homogeneous armor fitted with explosive reactive armor. This version has a maximum flight speed of 240 meters per second and a maximum range of 4.3 kilometers. The Odd-2 MP, also known as the Odd-2 Polyvalent, features a multi-purpose warhead. It looks identical to the Odd-2 except for the altered warhead composition, which contains 1,000 steel balls arranged around its edge and a chemical compound encircling the front edge. As a result, after penetrating 350 mm of rolled homogeneous armor, The Ot 2MP delivers anti-personnel and incendiary effects. The AMX 10P Lancelot, Atlas, LAV Lancelot, VCAC UTM 800 and VCAC Mephisto anti-tank missile carrier with Ot missiles are still operational. The Jaguar 1 and VCR-TH have been retired. At least two Panhard M3 variants equipped with the Ot missile system were produced, one featuring inclined ramps and the other with a 4-launcher turret. Some sources assert that Chad deployed at least one of these during its conflict with Libya. The operational Ot carrier helicopters are the BO-105 and SA-341-342 Gazelle. Nevertheless, the missile has also been integrated, tested and certified for use on the Jaguar, Dauphin, W3 Sokol, Oryx, Rooivalk and Lynx. France used its Ots in combat for the first time during Operation Monta, the French military intervention in Chad between 1983 and 1984 during the Chadian-Libyan conflict. During the 1991 Gulf War, the French SA-342M Gazelle helicopters launched 187 Ots, of which 127 hit their target. The missile destroyed around 20 tanks and armored vehicles, more than 40 troop transports, 15 artillery pieces, and numerous strong points. The VCAC Mephistos of the Daguet division also launched approximately 60 Ots. During the Battle of Kafchi, the Qatari VAC UTM 800s alongside the AMX 30s played a vital role in resisting the Iraqi offensive. Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates were other nations that fired Ots at Iraqi targets during the war. Later, French SA-342 Gazelles in Afghanistan frequently launched missiles against Afghan resistance fighters in fortified positions. On November 6, 2004, two Ivorian Su-25s, piloted by Belarusian mercenaries, attacked the French peacekeepers' position in Bueki, resulting in 9 deaths and 38 injuries. As retaliation, Ot missiles launched from French Gazelle helicopters destroyed two Ivorian Mi-24s, one Mi-8 and one Puma in front of the presidential palace, along with an artillery position near the presidential residence in Kokuri. In the 2011 Libyan War, France launched 425 Ots against pro-Gaddafi forces. The French Gazelles carried out numerous long-range precision strikes using the Ot missiles in Mali. However, many sources state that the Ot was baptized with fire during the Iran-Iraq War. Iraqi VCR-THs with the UTM 800 turret achieved their first combat success. Furthermore, the Iraqis swiftly realized that the Mi-25s were inadequate for anti-tank missions. So, they began using them with the Gazelle, which carried out the Ot missiles in hunter-killer groups. While the Mi-25s engaged with infantry and air defense troops, the Gazelles targeted tanks. The Syrian armed forces used the SA-341 armed with the Ots to destroy some Israeli tanks in Lebanon in 1982. The missile was also employed by the Assad forces during the Syrian civil war, especially in the Palmyra offensive. In 1984, the Cameroon Air Force launched several Ots from its Gazelles against the Cameroon Presidential Guard, which attempted a coup against President Paul Biya. Morocco also employed the missile in the conflict with the Polisario Front in Western Sahara. The air and ground-launched Ots have been instrumental in the internal conflict in Lebanon. Saudi LAV Lancelot have taken part in the conflict in Yemen. The Ot has proven itself in many battles. Through continuous upgrades, it remained effective for some time, but now its glory days are behind it. Newer generation missiles have begun replacing this old tank killer for a while. Nevertheless, with its achievements, the Ot undoubtedly deserves to be regarded as a legend. Thanks for watching our video. And please don't forget to subscribe to our channel and click the bell button to be notified of our new videos. Also, you can now click the join button to support our channel. And as always, we would greatly appreciate all of your likes, comments and shares.